Hey y'all, welcome back to the Tuck of Fame podcast. I'm Kylie Massini, and today I'm introducing you to Lauren Knight and Charlie Harper. Charlie has paid authentic tribute to Elvis professionally since 2020. He has toured all up and down the UK and Europe with his show. He has performed all the prestigious Winter Gardens in Blackpool and headlined all at respected Elvis Festivals around the UK. More recently, Charlie won the award for Best 68 Special for his portrayal of Elvis during the ERA at the world-renowned Porthcawl Elvis Festival. He had the honor this year of meeting Priscilla Presley herself, who marveled at his likeness and tribute to Elvis Presley. And Charlie's love for Elvis spans further than just a professional level, but also on personal level. He has been a fan of his music and career for most part of his life. Even as a young boy, he showed a deep love for the king and his amazing career wearing custom-made jumpsuits and getting on stage to perform like Elvis. So in terms of Lauren, she is UK's #1 Priscilla Presley tribute artist and manager of Charlie, which
Mhm.
is, crazy turn into that combo. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm literally super excited to have you guys on.
No, thank you so much. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
So to wrap, to start this off, like, how did you guys, meet? Of course, Elvis and Priscilla, they go, I'll say, way back. But I know you guys, love Priscilla and Elvis, but how did you guys kind of meet? I know with the similarities and everything, you guys like, oh, it must have hit it off.
We actually met through Elvis, to be honest. So I was attending a lot of festivals and doing like my Priscilla tribute, and you were just starting out really, and we met at an Elvis festival here in the UK.
It was my first ever festival,
Yeah,
to be fair. So it was kind of the stars aligned. It was my first one and my first time kind of, getting to know everyone. And because Elvis festivals are crazy. So, kind of finding my feet and
yeah,
seeing what it's all about, to be fair.
it's a whole different world, isn't it, really?
You're telling me
Definitely.
it's something.
Yeah, I've never been to an Elvis festival, but I know from so many people that I know that at every Elvis festival, where it's in UK, US, or Australia, or whatever, is always so crazy and so much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they are.
nice. And the thing is, like, there's always something happening. I mean, obviously, like if there's a competition, if there's, like the shows, because we kind of do either or. But I mean, even stuff at like breakfast, like, the ETAs or, like the people, attending, they'll just kind of go, and there's still something happening. Like, every morning at a festival, we're with a different ETA or someone just to kind of, talk about Elvis or about whatever's going on in life.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. It's not just from 7 o'clock. It is literally from Thursday to Sunday or Friday to Monday, whenever it is.
The
it's
days
crazy.
are very full, aren't they?
You telling me? Well, I'm always tired.
Yeah, there's literally always something going on.
Yeah,
Have you guys ever, performed in the US? Because I know over the last week there was Nashville competition for Elvis people and all these things that happens a lot in the US. But have you guys ever performed or ever been to the US for that sort of thing, or never been?
You haven't, but I have.
Yeah.
I went to Memphis in 2014 because I've been doing the Priscilla tribute for 12 years now. So I went over in 2014 and went to Graceland and did all that and got to do a few shows out there and meet. But to be honest, I've met lots of great people while I was there. I got to meet Joe Esposito, George Klein, lots of Elvis's guys. So yeah, to be honest, we really want to get over there and do some stuff there together.
We have a couple of things planned, to be fair. Like quite recently, like in the last week, we've got a couple of things planned. So it's
a little bit top secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know with like all like once you said all Elvis guys like familiar names, I'm like, oh my God, you're living my dream, man. Like, come on. But like, did you ever reconnect with them ever since like 2014, or you kind of that was like the first time you never kind of reconnected with them since?
With those guys, that was sort of the first and only time, to be honest. But I did meet Priscilla Presley out there herself, which was, of course, to me that was like a dream come true, and she was as lovely as what I thought she was going to be like in real life. But then I've also met her over here, so I've had private meetings with her. Like we've just got a glass of wine together and talked about all different things. And then in April last year, you got to meet her with me for the first time. So that was obviously a big deal for you, because that was the first time you'd really sort of met anyone on the in the scene with the Elvis stuff. Yeah.
It was kind of nice because it was just like us three.
Yeah, it was very,
obviously
very private.
You know, the kind of person with Priscilla as well, but it was just us. You know, it was kind of no one there to you know kind of interfere. So it was nice to kind of have that time, and you know, she was asking about us, and you know, had a bit of banter, you know, with us, and it was nice because it was she's a normal human being, although she's Priscilla and it's this big thing. It was just she was a normal person asking about, you know, our daily life, and it's you kind of don't see that, you just, you know, see the image, but she's actually a very nice person as well,
and she thought you were cute.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't mind that.
Oh my, that must be honestly the biggest compliment you ever gotten, especially from Priscilla. That must be the biggest compliment you probably ever gotten.
Yeah.
To be fair, I blushed a bit. She was like, "Is this your boyfriend?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "How much would you take for him?" I was like, "I'll do it for free. Don't worry, Priscilla. I'll do it for free."
I honestly would do the same exact thing. I'd be like, I don't need to pay money. I'll do it for free anytime. As long as, you know, I'm in the same room. That's fine. But like,
no, but she's good fun, isn't she? Like that. Like she's very just carefree, very, you know, down to earth, easygoing, which to be honest is what you want. I feel like when you meet your idols, or you meet, you know, somebody that you really look up to, the worst thing is, you know, for them to not live up to the expectation that you have of them. But I feel like every time I've walked away from spending time with Priscilla, she's never felt like, I've never felt let down by her at all. So, and you know, she's done so much for Elvis's legacy, so I'll always be thankful for that, regardless of, you know, anything else, because it was a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I know when a lot of people meet their idols or their favorite, you know, people that are in entertainment or something, they're always like, I just hope they're not as mean. Like, I know a lot of people might seem nice in interviews or something, but they might be rude when they're meeting fans or something. But I heard like so many positive comments about Priscilla. Like, I seen so many like videos of her maybe doing interviews, fan interactions and stuff. I'm just like, gosh, like she seems literally the sweetest person ever. And it shows with your guys' experience that you got to have with her. And I know she went on tour, not like a tour, but she had like did a couple of talks around the US, and I just like she literally seems like the most caring person, and I loved her even more with her keeping it open in Graceland, and us obviously keeping Elvis's legacy on. Because I think at one point I heard Elvis say, I think it was in an interview or something, that he was scared that his legacy wouldn't live on after he died. And I'm just like, gosh, if it wasn't for Priscilla, I think it would have, you know, been so different if Priscilla didn't keep Graceland open and kept his legacy alive.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so sad to think that he even, you know, that thought that could be an option, that people were going to forget about him, because he did so much during his life, and you know, his legacy would never have completely died out. But you know, I feel like she definitely put in the right steps to keep it going and keep it what it is. And even, you know, like Priscilla aside, like the things that people like Charlie do with his Elvis tribute and stuff, it keeps it all fresh for the younger generation. So you know, it's only going to keep getting bigger and better from here, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, like I know with a lot of Elvis fans, like I know my aunt's a diehard Elvis fan, seen him in concert a million times before he passed. I know, like with Elvis, even though he made so many hits throughout his career, I know he would have been still popular even to this day, even if it wasn't maybe for the Elvis movie, Priscilla movie, or even Priscilla herself. Her music, his music would have been so big, even with it being so big back then during that period. I feel like it would have still been as big as it was, even if Priscilla wasn't doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, like things like with the film, it's kind of, you know, got like a new generation of you know, younger fans, and which is good. But I mean, even, you know, 2016, 2017, over in London, she did was it the Royal Philharmonic? You know, she did 2 albums with that.
Yeah.
So that boosted it again, and then they kind of every couple of years, you know, just redo something, or like they're just finding the that's the way it is on tour. Baz is just trying to get them released. So then in again a couple of years, hopefully another thing's been released. So it's just kind of drip feeding, and which is nice because there's so much stuff out there. You know, they're finding stuff, and like we've spoke to a couple of people that have seen stuff that have never been released, and it's like I never knew they even had that, but they're just keeping it, so it will never go dry, and it's nice because you know you see stuff that is coming out. I mean, we did the London. They kind of brought stuff from Graceland over to here, and some of the stuff it's you know the first time it's ever been released, and there was you know stuff from the Elvis movie there, which is you know it's kind of it's nice, it's different. But then you know stuff. There was the 69 interview jacket, which Elvis actually wore on stage in 1969. But apart from that, that was the first time it had been out. Stuff he wore in Houston in 1970. That's the first time. You know, it's never even been out in Graceland or anywhere around the world. So it's nice that, you know, for me as well, because I like that kind of stuff that you don't see too much.
Like the more obscure.
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly. So it was nice to see it the first ever time. And I think there's so much more out there that, you know, he wore so much stuff, not only, you know, a jumpsuit or whatever, but just in the day, you know, his glasses, his rings. I mean, then you've got Vernon's, Priscilla's, his mum, Elise Marie. You know, there's so much stuff that is being kept behind. It will never die out, which is nice.
It seriously will. There's so many things that not a lot of people have seen that I know a lot of tribute artists have seen personally, whether it's clothes, rings, or even just personal memories that you got to experience. I know with a lot of people, like not everyone has seen those type of things, which is honestly I wish I had the memory of, but it's always, you know, like seriously amazing to have those experiences. Not a lot of people have the chance to see, like the rings, clothes, or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
But do you guys have like a favorite, you know, Elvis or Priscilla moment?
You go first. No, you go first. No, you go first.
I mean, as in, so in our tribute, or you know, like the real life Elvis and Priscilla.
What was that? Oh, sorry, my head just went blank.
No. I mean, just so we know. Do you mean as in like the real Elvis and Priscilla, or in our tribute moments?
Whatever works. You know, either
We'll
or.
do one from each. Shall we do like one from
do
Elvis
one
and then
from
one
each.
for kind of us?
Yeah, I think for me, tribute wise would obviously be meeting Priscilla herself. That nothing will ever sort of top that moment, you know. Priscilla moment, I would say more recently when she came over to the UK and she did her like conversation evening with Priscilla. She was just so funny, like really, really funny. And I think just to see that sense of humour and her being so not caring really, you know, about what she was talking about. It was nothing was sort of censored at all. It was just a really nice opportunity to see that from her.
It was like this. It was like it's having a one-to-one. It was so nice.
Yeah, and I think for me that would be sort of favourite, to be honest.
I mean, personally, probably the favorite thing, like in my own tribute, is performing at the Winter Gardens. Obviously, we did up on stage in Blackpool. So there's been, you know, Freddie Mercury, Frank Sinatra's been there. I'm trying to think who else. We was there literally 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember who else was there. But we were saying
a lot of people perform there.
I mean, you know, the building's like 200 years old or something. It's like there's so much history in there, and I was like, for us to perform in there, it's like it's so cool. You know, in the time you just think, oh, it's kind of cool, but then when you walk away and think, it's like that's pretty cool that we got to perform.
Yeah.
And you know, we've done a couple, you know, like music festivals and just kind of, I don't know which one. Obviously, meeting Priscilla that's just up there. You know, that's
there's so many.
You know, but like even stuff like I think it was our first like music festival we did together, and I sung in the ghetto, and I mean, I kind of got bored of the song because I kept singing it, and it was the one what they wanted, you know, to hear, and over the monitors, over everything, all I could hear was people singing back. So I just didn't sing for the whole song because they were singing the song, and it was like, this is so cool because there's younger people, older people, you know, like daughters, mums, and nuns were just all singing it, and it was like Elvis is the biggest has ever been. So that was kind of cool. So it's kind of all three are like joined up there. But in terms of Elvis, I don't really know. We always say all the time, he was such a funny person. And I mean, I try to put that in my tribute anyway, because I don't like being too serious. But, little jokes he said on stage, or, like if you look on some of the outtakes on That's the Way It Is, he's so nervous and he's like this the whole time, but he's joking all the time. And like in 1969, he's saying stuff and on a 10-minute monologue of his life, and it's just some of the stuff, it's like, what does he even think of it? It's just so weird. But it's funny, it's nice, and it's off the cuff. He didn't think or didn't rehearse it. It was like bam, quick-witted, and I like that because it's not too serious. It was Elvis. It was funny.
It's just him as a person, isn't it? It's nice to see that, because when performers are on stage, everything's so polished, because obviously they're living up to a contract or whatever they've got to do. But then when you see those sort of personable moments, that's like golden nuggets, really, because there's, half of the time he doesn't even really know he's being filmed. So he's just being as natural as can be. Like all the home movie stuff too. Like I love seeing that stuff of him, because he's just, with his family, with the guys, just enjoying his day. Yeah.
That's what I mean. And little things like just off the top of my head, on the Aloha from Hawaii special in 1973, he's singing, I think, Burning Love, and he just he just pokes his head around, and you can see the women at the front are screaming, and he just smiles, because it's just like, I know. And it's just that, it's like, he knows he's so cool, but not in a cocky way, just in like, I just know I'm cool. And it's so like, it's Elvis. I don't even know if there's a word to describe it. It's just Elvis, and it's like,
he's like, I know cool. People love me. I know I'm pretty cool. No one needs to tell me otherwise. Cool.
It's but then off stage, it was complete. It was the complete opposite. It was so, will people remember me? And he had a thing of when he turned 40, and in 75, he's going, I'm 40. Are people going to still love me? And it's like, he had so much self-doubt, but then obviously on stage, he was like this big, 100-foot image, and it's nice. It's nice, it's nice to kind of see the man and the image as well. And he always said it's hard to live up to the image.
It's like when you see like that self-doubt in Elvis, because I know even to this day he's still one of the biggest artists in the world. Even I know with Elvis movie that came out with Austin Butler, I feel like after most people watched that movie, it really kind of gave a lot of people realization that how big Elvis was back then. But with Elvis having self-doubt, even as a big performer he was back in the 60s or 70s, it's crazy to see like him having self-doubt and performing in front of thousands of people. It's crazy to see like how much he suffered during that time, but also how thankful he was to have that many people, even though he was so afraid that people will forget about him after so many years, or whether he's passed or he's really the music. Because of course he took that couple-year break off for when he was in Germany, he was serving. So of course with that year kind of break, it really kind of changed the way he kind of was portrayed. But it really, changed the way how Elvis was and how his legacy will be lived on even after he passed away.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was so many things that sorry, I had a brain fart then. There were so many groups that lasted 18 months or 2 years, and then they'd just slowly die off. Especially in the 50s and the 60s, you kind of have little groups like Elvis was, the 3-4-piece band. And he said, it was difficult because by the time you come out of the army, you had the Beatles, starting to come through, and
changed,
everything was, there was a young kind of little kid who was, a bit dirty, and then he kind of comes out and he has to be a man, he has to be a new guy, and and he said it'd be foolish not to change with the music, and he did, and I was literally listening to another podcast earlier that was saying about, he had to change, but he changed not in a completely different way, but he just kind of slotted back into society. So he was smart in that fact. And when he was in the army, before he went away, he actually recorded I can't remember how many songs it was. It was about 10 or 12, and then there was just drip feeding again. So he was never forgot. He was still on the scene, but it doesn't look like it because it's just 2 years out.
It was just staying relevant, wasn't it,
But,
really, for that time period?
You know, when it was, but even that in the army, you know, he
Mm.
still had King Creole, he still had Jailhouse Rock and Love Me Tender. So it was in Loving You as well. So he was still, you know, one of the biggest stars in the world, and he just didn't know it because he was kind of away from everything. But he was probably bigger than he ever was at that time, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see how much the army really kind of like changed the way he felt about himself. Because of course, when you're serving, you never know how big you are until you leave after the army or once you get discharged. And I loved how he basically kind of got into that zone where he's not sitting back being depressed from serving. This went to like, oh, this is what I did before I served. Let's go back into that zone. I love singing songwriting. Let's go back into the zone. Because I know a lot of people after they serve, they're just like, I'm miserable and depressed, like they're just not in the right headspace. But Elvis is just one of those people that is like, I want to go back to what I was doing before and was just go straight back to releasing music for people, even though he wrote the 10, 12 songs before he got discharged to Germany. Like he literally was so a legend for my Jailhouse Rock and some of those hit songs. But it really what sticks out to me the most is how much his head was in the space where he still wanted to make music, even after being gone for so long.
Yeah.
And I mean, sorry, I don't
No,
mean to- I mean, like, you know, to be fair, all he ever wanted to be was an actor. He never really wanted to be the singer, wanted to be the actor. So, you know, he just wanted to come back in, and he studied the main guys of the time. So as soon as he got out, you know, he wanted to do the films and
like the James Dean.
Yeah, and he just wanted to be James Dean. And in King Creole, it's kind of a nod to the James Dean-esque, because it's kind of, you know, the collar up and it's the bit of the hard man. But so he had that was his kind of last impression, because when he got drafted, it was a couple weeks, a couple months that he actually had to postpone going into the army because he was filming King Creole, and they wanted to get it finished and, you know, let out before he actually got drafted away. So that was kind of his last impression on normal life for Elvis. And then he come back, and it took him 16 days from arriving in Memphis to then back in the studio. You know, when he did It's Now or Never and stuff like that. So he just wanted to get back in, and then he did GI Blues, which he absolutely hated. So it's like, it was kind of, you know, it was down, it was up, it was down, and that was Elvis's life. And, you know, you never too down, but never too high, because you just know there's always going to be ups and downs for everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. And for Lauren, like, how did the idea, well, it's for both of you, but how did the idea come about becoming Charlie's manager? I'm just curious. So I said, like, saw like the bio that you were his manager. I'm like, oh my god, that's actually crazy. I'm curious.
It just sort of fell into place, didn't it? Really. I think with me doing what I've done for so many years, naturally I've built up, you know, like contacts and a lot of the venues that, you know, we want to sort of perform in, I've already performed in them myself. So it just sort of naturally fell into place that I just started doing that. And Charlie's awful with diary management anyway. So it just made sense for me to start, you know, taking on that role. And it works, the dynamic works. Like, you can focus on your performance and rehearsing, and I can focus on all, you know, like the business side of things and the promotion, and it just works for us that way. Some people it doesn't. Some people like to take on their own management, but you're very happy, you know, for me to take on all the boring stuff.
I'm just not too good with that. Like, I'm not too good when it comes to numbers or even stuff like addresses. It's just not for me. The only thing I'm good at, you know, when it comes to the money side, is buying stuff. That's the only thing.
Buying jumpsuits.
Yeah.
But it works because, you know, Lauren kind of does the boring stuff, but, you know, the talking to the venues, because I'm just not very good at that kind of stuff. But then, like I say, it kind of leaves me to set up, or leaves me to kind of do sound check when obviously we need to, and it just works. We've found the niche that works. So it's, you know, let's not change it.
Plus it keeps it all in house. So like, we don't have to, you know, like pay for somebody to do it, or, you know, we know, because we're a couple in real life, so we're together all the time. So I can literally just turn to Charlie and go, all right, this venue's got in touch, like blah blah blah. yeah, so it just works good for us, really.
No, definitely.
And especially with doing both of our tribute, it covers all bases, to be honest.
It's just a bit easier, especially like when it comes to festivals as well. Because the festivals kind of, they book me, they book Lauren, or if they book Lauren, they book me. So it's kind of, it just works. It's like
a package deal. Across
like it wouldn't for you both to kind of get more gigs. You might as well just take one, you might as well take another, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
just
definitely.
it works well. So
yeah,
that
happens.
busier.
Yeah, I was like, if you don't take this person, then I'm not going either way. Just because, like, why not? Like, but I wish I had ideas. I literally do everything on my own. I'm literally the worst person to book different things. So I'm always the person that overbooks myself. So have someone that books your stuff and also you don't have to stress about it is something that I wish I would have done without having to pay like a management or something to pay for managing my work or something is just too much. And of course budget, like it's just too much. It's probably
It's just easy.
It builds up, doesn't it? Even sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, like there's a lot going on at the moment, but I think it's just naturally my domain anyway. Like I've always been quite an organised person, so
and I haven't.
Yeah, and he hasn't. So this is where we sort of balance each other out in both professional life and relationship, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
But to wrap things up, like how can people, connect with you guys on social media and such?
So I'm on Facebook. My name's Lauren Knight. You're on Facebook as well, Charlie Harper. My Instagram is Lauren Knight as Priscilla. Your Instagram.
I'm gonna check mine right now because I don't even know.
While he's checking, he's also got a website with all of his tour dates and how to book, and it's www.charlieharperselvis.co.uk.
I've got it. So I've changed it a couple of times. So this is what it is for now. I hope it is forever. It's Charlie underscore ETA underscore Harper.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you put Charlie Harper in it, I hope it comes up.
Lauren, I love how you just remember his website stuff when he has to look on his phone and be like, okay, what is his username again? Like, what's going on?
This is why I do his management.
I never remember what my usernames are. I'm just like, just look at my name and it probably will pop up.
Literally.
That's how you do it. You're sort of like just search and hopefully, it'll come up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, no, I'm so used to just reeling it off. It's like second nature now. Do it in my sleep.
I
know, right? And so thank you, everyone for listening. I know recently there's been a lot of Elvis talks on here recently, and there's probably gonna be more. This, a little warning for everyone, but I really appreciate you guys joining us today, and I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
I know you guys currently are in UK, so it's kind of up here from where I am in the US, I know, but I really appreciate you guys joining us today. And if you guys need help, anything at all, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help in any way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.